Hello and welcome! My name is Jessica Gem, and in today's video, I'm completing a Dragon Ball Super style character art that I did for a Christmas present for a young relative. To see the sketching process, check out Christmas Sketches Part 1. Let's get into it! Since this piece is a style mimic, the first step was making sure that my line thickness and style was the same. The first one I tried was a bit too thick, so I switched to this new size and continued on. This show's line art has no thickness variation, so I chose a hard round brush and shrunk it down to keep it consistent. Typically, the most vital part of a style is the face, so I focus quite a bit on getting it right, making sure to put defining markings like the brow lines and cheek details. I try my best to emulate the visuals with each different area I do, making sure the shapes, amount, and placement of lines are as close as I can get to my references. For example, the hair has large main chunks that are separate, and then some detail lines that stay inside those larger shapes. The clothes have specific angles and placements to their folds, and since it's a fighting anime, the muscles are quite defined with solid lines. I make several adjustments to the lines that I've done, focusing on the style as a whole in comparison to itself to get down some things that were out of place, flipping the canvas and doing some extra checks. I put in a base and then pull colors directly from some screenshots that I've saved, because the tones and colors that a show uses can be just as big a part of their style as other details. Once I have my flats in, I move to a different layer for shading, testing out a couple of lighting scenarios before picking a standard front lighting because it best suited what I was going for. The shapes and positioning of shadows can also be quite important in mimicry, so it's important not to forget to pay attention in each step, finding the techniques the artist was going for. For example, many shows are a single cell shading layer, but Dragon Ball Super and the other Dragon Ball shows tend to have two-tone cell shading, a layer of mid-shading and then an even darker layer only in the deepest corners. When I do cell shading, I often color it in with one obvious solid color first so that I can focus on the big picture without worrying about color picking constantly. When I have them all down, I lock the transparency of the layer so that I can draw on the shapes I've already made without worrying about losing the look. I pick colors from the screenshots again for the shadows, which helps me give them the right amount of contrast. Once I have them down, I make a few edits for areas where there was too much or too little and move to the background. I looked at the references I had for Super Saiyan God, which I found out was likely his favorite version of the character, to make sure that I was making the right aura since each Saiyan type can have different effects and designs. I throw stuff together to get the result I'm looking for, using a few different layer effects to find the ones that I needed. I took it into a different program because the one I was using didn't have a sparkle brush I could use, added those, and then did even more adjustments. I also noticed I forgot a small effect right around the edge of his body, so I added that as well, and boom! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've had a fun time. I know I did. Style studies are something that I really like doing. There's so much to learn from other artists. If you've enjoyed this video, please grant me a like, and if you'd like to see how the rest of my sketches turned out, subscribe to join me. That's all for now, so farewell and have a wonderful day!